regrettably, it's time to do the best of.
They exist.
They do exist.
They exist.
I don't know. I don't know what.
And I did want to make sure
Hmm.
that these didn't show up elsewhere in our episodes. Like in the same way with reverse retro, we made sure that there was only one category. Like
Right.
you couldn't have one that was multiple things, multiple awards.
You couldn't have the all white Sabres jersey just completely dominating showdowns.
Right, absolutely. Right. No, can't have that, can we? I bought one just to mark it. So these are ones that didn't show up elsewhere,
Right.
Deliberately so. And that was not witty banter at all, but we got a good introduction. Next on Ugly Thirds.
Yeah, thanks, Phil.
Welcome back, sports fans, to an episode of Ugly Thirds.
What is this?
I don't know what
Somebody watching this for the first time had no idea what that was.
I don't know what this is anymore.
Sorry, Jersey Cam just like completely just like.
Anyway,
yeah.
Welcome back, and so today's topic is going to be the best overall for the Reebok era tour.
You've nailed that every single time.
Thank you.
Nobody's told you how good and proud we are of you.
You know what we didn't talk about is such a great feature, and I really noticed it with Phil's collar. Want to go back to Phil's collar for a second?
No.
That wonderful NHL logo, because if you didn't have that, how would you know what this is that we're wearing?
That's fair. Because the ECHL puts it on the back hemline of their jerseys.
Right where it looks the worst.
Right. That's good.
So, yay.
That's good. I'm glad we started this best of feature with a worst of feature.
The best jerseys of the Reebok era.
Yeah.
And you know what? There were some good ones.
I would argue that there were more jerseys in the Reebok era than any other one just because of special event jerseys. Just because we started having those outdoor games during Reebok. Granted, there was reverse retro and Adidas, but we had a ton.
And they really would be, I think, because the Reebok era got whole new jerseys pretty much across the league. Very few teams kept 1-to-1 what they had CCM Coho to Reebok.
Yep.
So a whole new set of jerseys, that 30, 60 jerseys. And then the backlash against that look got you a lot of new third jerseys that were fantastic. We start getting lots of throwbacks. And look, like the Dallas Stars with Victory Green was in this list before we bumped it to upgrades.
Yep.
Right? Like there are a lot of really good things that got shifted other places.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to start with one that could have just as easily been in the short lived.
It's so good.
It's so. Phil, do you know what this is?
Good.
Do I know what that is?
Yes. For the era that I should have had you look up.
It's a wearing classic jersey.
It is.
It is.
It's against the Penguins. Is it against the Penguins?
No, that was not against the Penguins.
No,
that was
the straight throwback. That was I can't remember now.
It was against Chicago. Am I right? There was one against Chicago. No, Chicago played St. Louis. That's why. Right. They all start to muddle again with some of those teams that have been there a dozen times. It's the 2015 Winter Classic, and I know that because of the awesome patch they have.
It's against Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. Nats Park. It's one we hosted. Yeah.
Yes. And first off, I love this logo. This is one of the better unsung Winter Classic logos. If you want a droopy cam over here.
Yeah, it's not the frosted lamppost from Boston when they did it, and it plays into the area in which it was held.
So. Right. So it has nothing to do with the ballpark and everything. Like where this is.
Yep.
And I like that.
Yep.
Look, and I think part of why I was okay with it not being in the short-lived is because this W with the stars has gone on to the third jersey.
It has.
Which may or may not be sticking around. The aesthetics is waffled.
I sure hope so.
I hope it comes back as red. I hope that's the rebrand. You make a red version and a white version, and that's your home and road.
There you go.
They kept capitals on the front because they said we've always had capitals on the front of our jersey. So it's like, okay. They dropped it for the third, which I like.
What I like about this, though, is that they go over the W in the background, and it doesn't muddy it up. It doesn't look terrible. It's right over the top of it, and it looks good. And
it's a font that matches very well.
Yes.
And even with the top of the Washington Monument hidden in there, I like that on the sleeves it mimics the classic era that everyone thinks of,
Yep.
without throwing 5 stars in there and making it really, really messy. You've got 2 hemline stripes at the bottom, which is just easy and classy. But this shoulder element has not been seen anywhere else. If it's existed in the minor leagues in like a Tulsa kind of thing, maybe. I have never recognized it. They created a new feature that has not been used before or since. It looks super vintage. It looks good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that this hasn't survived in any other way. And even the Mitchell and Ness gets it wrong. The new one, it's the new red and not this.
Did they throw back? Is Mitchell and Ness throwing back to
Mitchell and Ness has
games?
made this, yes. They made this, but it's in bright red and not this bright red.
This is my problem, because people who want to collect hockey jerseys don't want an upgraded Mitchell and Ness. They want to go out and find the old one, but the fact that they're making these again, it dilutes the chase and the excitement of sitting on eBay and finding them. And
there's also some accessibility. Like I feel like this is a debate for a proper episode at some point. Because like some of those ones you just can't get. It's also felt
with number 2. Well, it's also felt, but the Reebok box has shrunk.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is much smaller than normal.
And we'll float up with number 2 on our list here to show everybody.
Yes,
it was a fantastic addition.
This is one of my favorite jerseys of all time.
Oh,
it's so clean. It's clean. It's crisp, and like.
Is that why you keep sending me this? I think
true story.
Yes, I'm listening.
Phil found one of these and put in a bid on it. Super low bid. Figured it's going to get beaten. And then what you saw one for a buy it now, and you put in you went and bought it, and then that other bid didn't get beaten, and so you got 2 of them.
Nice.
And so I keep sending Phil listings of these every chance I get.
That was the beginning of when I was really starting my collection, so I was a newbie.
You've learned.
Have I?
Listen, I tried to give you a compliment, and you shot back with conspiracy. So
I mean, I'm 2 away from collecting the whole new
of 2023, 24.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, this logo needs space to breathe, and on the white it does it very well. And they've yet to really figure it out on the green.
Okay.
And it looks so good, and it's so much green, and there's just enough red. There is just enough red to balance perfectly, and on the ice it is so silky. And this was the first one I realized that Reebok can make stitched stuff.
Yeah,
this is actual stitched layers, though they're still printed. And look, do I love that these are just the roundel of the regular? No, I don't. But there's not a lot of other good stuff that Minnesota has to use in this as of right now. But it is such a clean, perfect look.
Yeah. And we've talked about Victory Green versus Minnesota Green versus Hartford Green. Like this, it is a regal looking green.
It is it is dark, and so it's hard to like the red doesn't contrast well enough with it. It can work really with it needs to be a red heavy team, but with Wild that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, and I get when they're talking about color scheme changes, that I understand. I just don't like that it's pure nostalgia. But this like they nailed it on the white. The white is perfect.
Yep.
It's a perfect jersey.
And I'm glad you got one since they're impossible to find.
Oh yeah, no, it's never gonna find another one.
This was easy, number 1.
Do we have when this was worn at all? Phil's been too busy scowling at me from off camera. When did they introduce this?
The white one in Reebok? 2013.
Yeah.
So it's been around a bit. But it's not number 1. You if you know what number 1 is, feel free to look.
It's the perfect jersey for Reebok.
Yeah.
It is the perfect Reebok era jersey. Felt.
A great collar thing because this was the thing they had at first. We fight, we march, which for a team that is what did you say about the Forgotten Franchises thing? We talk about this.
There was an internet poll done by somebody, some big name organization, and they said, what is the most forgettable pro franchise in sports at the moment? And the Columbus Blue Jackets was number 1. And rightfully so. What else is going on in Columbus at the professional level? The Arnold Classic, baby.
That beats out the Winter. The collar beats out the Winter Classic.
Does it really?
Mm-hmm.
So when do they start wearing these?
2010.
Well, now was
And-
it on the collar in 2010? Because
What year did they have that patch?
Match the patch.
There was a
JHM.
2010, 2011 only.
so I got a 1 year 1 year decal on the back. Ooh,
I like it. We're
What-
pushing that collar effect.
Based on NHL uniform database.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Featuring the NHL's newest fad, which was inside the rear collar reads "We Fight, We March."
Excellent.
So I guess if people who watch all our episodes will see extra stuff. Now look, the one thing I don't like about this is the font. I think they've improved this in the Adidas version. I think it's very boxy,
Yep.
and I think they were just trying to be like. So the Blue Jackets, the name, despite all of the lore that went in different directions, from a bug to a native chief to, it's about the uniforms. It's about the Union uniforms that were made in Columbus and leaning into a Civil War theme. Everyone knows the canon, and I think this was trying to be like, oh, it's old, so they didn't do curves back then. Meanwhile, you look at old stitching. Like, you go to the hall and you look at some of those like early Red Wings jerseys.
Were they doing it?
Oh my god, the ornateness of it. It's the opposite. They went for a feel, and I think they missed it.
When this thing disappeared and then came back, people rejoiced.
Yeah.
Like, this was one of those things where, like, oh yeah, we've listened to our constituents and we need to bring this thing back.
What a weird color, though. What is going on there? I mean, really and truly, though, I think everyone knows this is the direction Columbus needs to go as a proper look.
Yep.
Even if they switch the light blue for red, which would not bat an eye, they can be red, white, and blue. It's about Union uniforms.
Yeah.
Not going to question.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's such a good, regal, it looks like we've been here look.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't want, like, oh, original 6 dress up, act like you've been there. It's been there. It's 24 years now. 25 years now.
They have
looked like it.
Yeah, they have been
looked
there.
like it.
Yep. That's a range right there.
It is a big range, and they're all excellent. And you know what? There's other ones that could be on this list, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
Yep.
So tell us about those picks in the comments. What are your thoughts? What do we miss in the Reebok era? Good stuff. Good stuff. And if there's anyone can say anything more about the collar effect, let us know.
Yep.
He's Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, ring the bell to get notifications when we post new videos, and come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
That's the name of the show. I was trying. I knew you were pausing for me to fill it in, and then I was going to fill it in case you forgot the name of the show. But you got it at the end, and I don't need to do anything anymore. That's good.
Line.